Hey, it's Fox from Inferno Fox Gaming. Well, the morality police are in play for this video, and while I love JRPGs, I've had a hard time getting into games like this guy right here, Yakuza, Like a Dragon, in the past. And let's talk about it. So, what's been my issue when it comes to playing games like these? As someone who's played video games for nearly the last 40 years, and yes, I am that old, I've always taken the role of the righteous hero. The happy penguin on his way to exploring Antarctica, the plucky plumber looking to free the princess from the evil King Koopa, the young elfling exploring the overworld and several dungeons for pieces of a magical triangle. I'm sure there are those ready to argue that morality is subjective, and yeah, they'd probably be right. Anybody with a modicum of critical thinking skills will tell you the world is a tapestry of conscience, woven with threads of both virtue and vice. But for 2 to 7 year old Fox here, that level of maturity and understanding just wasn't quite there. That said, this easy level of morality that video games had often provided a comfort, to be sure. This is perhaps one of the many reasons why playing a mob footman like Ichiban in this guy right here, or a psychotic drug dealer like Trevor in GTA 5 is difficult, to be sure. Another reason is that I just can't see myself personally being part of the mob or a drug dealer. The identification and personification of the protagonist is one of the many aspects to playing video games. Hell, it's why Brandon from Just the Gems' favorite JRPG trope became a thing, the silent protagonist. In this way, it allows the player to become the hero of the game and thus lose themselves in the world. When I play a game myself, and by becoming the hero, I also take my own morality compass. Thus why working for the mob or being a bank robber seems a bridge too far. Now, I don't judge people for enjoying these types of games because I know these are fictional worlds and they allow us to become people that we simply are not ourselves. Okay, some of us playing these games sometimes have a hard time detaching ourselves from these respective video game worlds or these alternate realities. That's a whole nother video that probably be related to Expedition 33. No judgments made on my end if you enjoy romancing all the female characters in Persona 5 or throwing the penguin off the bridge in Mario 64. I think hypocrisy comes from those that do make judgments of others. Literal virtue signaling, especially when they themselves are genuinely awful human beings, making things just generally more terrible for everyone else. And this really does stem from the fact that, I did try this game. I did try Yakuza Like a Dragon back when it was added as a free game to PlayStation Plus Essential Tier back in August of 2022. I got about an hour into it and I just couldn't get into it, couldn't finish the job, despite it having an honestly pretty decent turn-based RPG gameplay aspect. The same thing happened anytime I tried to play any of the Grand Theft Auto games, which includes Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and 5. Okay, maybe with those, I'd get lost in the world by messing around and seeing how many stars I could accrue until those CIA helicopters would come for my character. In preparation for this video, though, I decided, hey, let's start my save back up here so that I could, of course, capture footage for what you've been seeing, as well as confirm that I just couldn't get into this game. But man, in 3 years, I'd have to say some things have changed, it seems. I don't know, maybe it's that I've gotten a little bit older, a little bit wiser, more accepting of lifestyles other than my own, but I found myself really getting into this game, like 20 plus hours into it as of the recording of this video. The idea that the main character, Ichiban Kasuga, lives his own life through the lens of Dragon Quest honestly seemed kind of cringe at first, back when I, again, tried the game back in 2022. And I'd already played the whole mainline series of Dragon Quest at that point, too. I went from trying to identify with the protagonist Ichiban, putting myself directly into their shoes, to instead appreciating the story around him. Now, as I've gotten to accept and truly understand the why of Ichiban's lifestyle and choices, I'm picking up on a whole number of nuances with the game. The biggest of this is simply by the fact that we see the world through Ichiban's eyes. And in this way, we're also experiencing a Dragon Quest-like experience. Yes, it's like that with the turn-based battles and the job system changing out for said battles, but it's also the idea that Ichiban himself literally sees that he is the hero on a quest to help others, and that's something that not only infects new friends like Yunamba, but even the director of the temp office, Hello Work, Shuichi Kanbei, where he refers to Ichiban's group as a party. Now, I am literally the same age as Ichiban, and seeing him be so hopeful and excited to help others truly is infectious, especially since he spent nearly half his life in prison for something he didn't himself do. But going back to my original morality take, I can see that first viewpoint I had was one of, honestly, a bit of closed-mindedness. It begs the question of whether or not it's worth playing and retrying Grand Theft Auto 5. After all, there's a lot of themes that are deep within that entry, beyond the outward veneer of shooting cops, going to the strip club, and being dissed by Cell from Dragon Ball Z.
What's up? Can perfection come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Nigga, don't hate me because I'm perfect, nigga. Maybe if you use the Dragon Balls to upgrade that cheap-ass haircut, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Android 18 will call your dog ass if she stops fucking with that bald dwarf or old man she's fucking with. Nigga.
What?
Bitch.
This kind of reminds me of when I let go of my preconceived notions of games that feature mechs. Specifically after I really enjoyed my time with titles like Kirby Planet Robobot and the Trails of Cold Steel games. If I'm ready to accept playing as a literal anti-hero or even an amoral protagonist, which games do I see myself playing next? If you've got any suggestions, let me know in the comments, but some thoughts would include the sequel, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And I know this is a bit of a cop-out since it is a direct sequel, but again, I am really engaged with the characters of this world. There's also the Yakuza series itself, specifically like Yakuza 0. I don't know if I'll resonate with the non-JRPG entries in the series, but it is worth a try. There's also Nier Automata and Replicant. Now, I did play and get a couple of the first endings for Nier Automata, but the awfully dull colors and overtly sexual nature, it didn't really appeal to me. But maybe if I divorce myself of those critiques, I can truly appreciate what literal millions of fans love about this series. And then there's also games like Tales of Berseria. I've only played Tales of Arise. The greater majority of the Tales series is on my backlog, but I've heard Berseria's story, specifically Velvet's journey, is one that's a bit darker, and her journey is by far from, we'll say, upstanding. And then, of course, I have to mention it here, Elden Ring, because everything goes back to this game. Maybe, just maybe, if I've got this open mind, I won't bounce off of this and I'll finally be able to see again what millions of fans have seen with this game. Well, tens of millions. Overall, I feel like not giving games their due because appearances make them seem immoral lacks nuance and is frankly kind of immature. And obviously travesties like Custer's Revenge, Hatred, and even stuff like Postal and Manhunt 2 have a very hard line drawn where we're no longer looking at video games as art, and these games have little to no redeeming value. Comparing these to something like Grand Theft Auto 5, we can clearly see the nuance beyond the immoral veneer of the three protagonists in 5. After all, the Grand Theft Auto series can be seen as a mirror to our own American society, warts and all, and even critique the general futility of the attempt to reach the American dream. And that resonates pretty heavily nowadays too. Whereas this is just dumb. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, along with some suggestions for morally gray protagonist-led games. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.